I just got a new controller, and if you know me, you may already know which controller I'm talking about. That's right, I got the new Keylab by Arturia. This is the third version of this controller, and it improves a lot of features that the last controller had. Now, Arturia sent me this unit beforehand so I can make this review, but they have no say on the content of this video. My channel is funded by viewers that use my affiliate links or are part of my members page and Patreon, and also the ones that buy my preset packs and everything else. I had to be honest, I never played with a Keylab before. The other controller that I have is actually the Keylab Essentials, so it's not a fair comparison. But still, this video is going to be useful for Keylab owners that want to upgrade or for people that are just looking for a controller. So let's start by the thing, the object on itself. It feels robust and it's heavy, but not too heavy. It's not something that's going to break immediately. Not only that, the faders and the knobs are very sturdy and they are actually touch sensitive, but more of that later. Now, the keybed is your typical synthesizer keybed. I know that many people want Arturia to make something more similar to a piano, but this time the keys are heavier. It's what they are calling a hybrid feel. And I gotta say that it feels better than your regular keys. Now, the first thing that you will notice is the new screen, which is a LED-styled screen with full color and, of course, better to the view. When you play with Arturia Instruments, it will show you the instrument and it will also show you different values that are you pressing or using. And this is where the touch sensitivity for the faders and knobs come from, because just by touching them you can see the value that they have. This is great because with other controllers you will have to move it a little bit just to know what value they have, and sometimes that means changing the value. Besides that, we have these 12 pads that are great to the touch, and not only to the touch but also for finger drumming. Now, it has also other features such as setting a scale, using an arpeggiator with very nice randomization options, and even chords. But for that, let me show you first a little bit more of the screen. As you can see, we have these 4 buttons at the top and at the bottom of the screen, and those are just to select different parameters and different menus of this controller. When you start your app, you can choose to use it with your own settings, or for controlling instruments by Arturia, or for controlling your DAW. Right now I'm using it for that. In settings you can set the DAW that you're using, and as you can see, it identifies the tracks that I have selected. And with these, the faders and the knobs also work as level and panning for each track. With the wheel, I can go up and down, I can play and stop the sound, of course, navigate Bitwig, and start recording some clips. Now, as you see, when we are in DAW Control, these pads are now in red, and it's because I can actually choose to start recording different clips on Bitwig. For instance, if I press this, I will start recording here. It's a kind of workflow that's great, especially if you want to record different ideas or even for live looping. The integration with Bitwig is working very nice. The only thing is, I don't know why I cannot seem to use the rec button. I mean, I can use record right here in the screen, but this is record for the clip launcher. This other record button does nothing, and I will expect it to actually enable record, but this time for the arrangement. Still, I can just program that in settings. Now, I mentioned that it has a deep arpeggiator, and it's true, it has many different options. It's not only an arpeggiator. It has your average settings, but the unique thing about this ARP is the randomizer. When you set it up, you can start selecting different values for things like the triggers, the gates, the octaves, but also the time division. And you can even add ratchet, which is like a stutter, it will repeat the note. playing around with different arpeggiator ideas, this controller is great too. Now, when controlling Arturia synths, it's not only about the controls and this nice picture, but also it's better for navigating. This is especially great for things like Analog Lab. Now, what's even greater is that you can even set up multi-synths and even split synths with the controller itself. And it will let you edit different parameters of that, or even different parameters of a preset. You even have a very basic EQ. Now, these menus are not only to play with Analog Lab or with your DAW, but also to edit the behavior of the controller. For instance, you can change the curve of aftertouch and velocity. Now, besides the ARP, it also has a chord and a scale mode. The chord, of course, will let you play different chords, but of course, it has more features. For instance, you can add strumming to the chord. Not only that, you can change the type of chord and also the voicing. The other feature is the scale mode, which helps you playing without going off scale. Some will say this is cheating. I may not use it, but I really don't care. It's very useful and you can choose many different scales, and of course you can create your own custom scale. Now, I know that the main thing is the controller, of course, but I have to also mention the software that comes included. You can get Analog Lab Pro, which comes with thousands of different presets that you can somewhat edit. But it also has the Mini V4, the Piano V3, and augmented strings. Besides these instruments, they also give you their Reverb Plate 140. I am enjoying the feel of it, which, if you ask me, is the most important part when choosing a new controller. And the way it integrates with my DAW is great. I mean, I love to create some live looping, especially when I'm creating music rather than playing. So being able to use only the keyboard for that will make the workflow easier. Now, should you get it? Well, I believe it's a good investment. I mean, it's a great controller, it feels very good to the touch, and the screen makes it even better. The menu diving and everything feels more intuitive and easy to program. So I want to know your thoughts about this new controller. If you have used Arturia controllers before, and of course, what do you think about the new and extra features? Thank you so much for watching, I will see you next time, and bye bye.